Imagine standing in a world that wants you dead. Not metaphorically, literally. Every sound in the dark could be a predator. Every decision you make could be your last. There are no second chances, no rescue, no safety net. Now imagine that this isn't a nightmare or a movie scene. This was normal life for early humans. And the most dangerous threat they faced wasn't a lion, a wolf, or the cold. It was a mistake, a single type of mistake that nearly erased our entire species from the planet. What makes this terrifying is that humans had already survived so much by this point. We had outlived stronger animals, faster hunters, and harsher climates. We had fire, we had tools, we had social groups. On paper, we should have been unstoppable. And yet, at one point in our history, the human population dropped so low that if things had gone slightly differently, you wouldn't be here watching this right now. No cities, no languages, no history, just silence. To understand how close we came to extinction, you need to forget everything you think you know about evolution being a smooth, upward journey. Human survival wasn't a straight line. It was chaotic, fragile, and filled with near misses. And one of those near misses almost ended everything because of a choice humans kept making again and again without fully understanding the consequences. Early humans lived in a world of constant trade-offs: safety versus food, exploration versus survival. Stay in one place too long and resources disappear. Move too far and you risk stepping into environments your body isn't prepared for. Every migration was a gamble. Every new territory was a question mark. And humans, driven by curiosity and desperation, kept pushing forward. At first, this seemed like our greatest strength. We spread into new lands, we adapted, we learned. But over time, that same instinct began to work against us. As humans moved into unfamiliar environments, they encountered climates that changed faster than their bodies could adapt. Ice ages didn't arrive gently, they came in waves. Temperatures dropped, rain patterns shifted, forests turned into grasslands, grasslands turned into frozen wastelands. Animals that humans depended on either migrated or disappeared entirely. And suddenly, survival strategies that had worked for thousands of years stopped working almost overnight. This is where the mistake began to take shape. Humans didn't just follow food. They followed opportunity. They followed the idea that somewhere else might be better, warmer, safer, richer. But the further they spread, the more fragmented they became. Small groups split off from larger ones. Communities became isolated. And when things went wrong, there was no backup. Imagine a group of early humans, maybe 30 or 40 individuals, entering a new region at the edge of a changing climate. The animals they hunted are fewer. The winters are longer. The plants they recognize no longer grow there. They don't know it yet, but they're standing on the edge of a demographic cliff. One bad season doesn't just mean hunger. It means fewer children survive. 2 bad seasons mean the group starts shrinking. 3 or 4 bad seasons mean knowledge disappears. The person who knew how to make the best tools dies. The elder who remembered migration routes freezes one night and never wakes up. Skills vanish faster than they can be replaced. And here's the brutal truth about early human survival. Numbers mattered more than strength. A small population is fragile. Diseases spread faster. Genetic diversity collapses. One accident can remove an entire bloodline. And humans, unknowingly, were pushing themselves into exactly that situation. For a long time, they kept repeating the same pattern. Expand, adapt, survive. Barely. Then expand again. At one point, the total human population across the entire planet may have dropped to just a few thousand individuals. Some estimates suggest even fewer. That's not a civilization. That's not dominance. That's a species holding onto existence by its fingernails. And what's chilling is that humans didn't realize how close they were to disappearing. There was no warning sign, no sense of this is the end, just daily survival, one fire, one hunt, one night at a time. The mistake wasn't curiosity itself. Curiosity had saved humans countless times before. The mistake was overextending without connection. Groups moved faster than information, faster than cooperation, faster than the ability to recover from failure. Other species didn't do this. Many animals stayed within ecological boundaries they were adapted for. Humans crossed those boundaries constantly. Sometimes it paid off. Sometimes it nearly wiped them out. And then something changed. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but quietly. Humans began to behave differently. Groups started maintaining stronger social bonds across distances. Knowledge wasn't just held by individuals anymore, it became shared. Stories, rituals, and early forms of teaching began to act as memory systems. Even if one group suffered, others could carry on what they had learned. More importantly, humans began to think in longer timelines. Not just, how do we survive this winter, but where will we be in 10 winters? This shift sounds small, but it changed everything. Planning reduced reckless expansion. Cooperation increased survival odds. Migration became strategic instead of desperate. This didn't eliminate danger. Humans still faced extinction-level threats. Climate swings continued. Ice ages came and went. but the species became more resilient, less brittle, less dependent on luck. The mistake that almost ended us didn't disappear overnight, but humans learned just enough just in time to avoid the final collapse. And that's the part most people don't realize. Human survival wasn't inevitable. It wasn't guaranteed by intelligence or strength or destiny. It came down to a narrow window where behavior changed before population numbers dropped too low to recover. If that shift had happened a few thousand years later, there would have been no comeback. No second attempt, no future humans to learn from the failure. Every modern human carries the legacy of that near extinction. The reason we're obsessed with connection, communication, and shared knowledge isn't accidental. It's evolutionary memory, a response to a time when isolation almost killed us. And here's the unsettling part. The same instincts that nearly wiped us out once still exist. Expansion, resource pressure, environmental change, fragmentation. The context is different now, but the pattern feels familiar. The story of human evolution isn't just about where we came from, it's a warning written into our biology. A reminder that survival isn't about pushing endlessly forward. Sometimes it's about knowing when to slow down, connect, and adapt together. Because once before, we didn't, and we almost disappeared because of it. And in the next story, we'll look at a moment when humans faced the coldest, most unforgiving enemy they had ever known, and why that battle reshaped not just our bodies, but the way we think forever.